I'm live. I'm back. I just did a video not even 10 minutes ago. And I like looking at this lady named Chloe, Chloe. And Chloe make videos about women, like, self-improving us and hypergamy women and everything. I love watching her, and her voice is very soothing and everything. And things that goes on in life is always a term or a word for it. And what I'm going through right now is future faking. I'm gonna play a little bit of her video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because I don't want my little channel to get, taken down. Because I know forget I did a video about coronavirus and it got taken down, and I hated it and I was mad and everything. But this guy, he did promise me a future. He pulled out all the red carpet and everything, said what to be said. And oh my God, I got future fake. Anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of it.
And strung along in the romantic department of love. But this video can also apply to women who choose to ignore when a man demonstrates a historical pattern in his romantic relationships by wanting to believe that they are the exception and the rule. Now, before I get into the breakdown of future faking, I wanted to highlight some of the wonderful comments from our hypergamous community over on Instagram in response to the current breakup of serial monogamist Common and comedian Tiffany Haddish. One reader said, "I was alarmed when they got together. She seemed way more excited than him, and
Yes. Not to take the topic off me, but in the beginning of their relationship, Common and Tiffany, she was a little too excited. She was the one telling everybody they was dating. I didn't do that in my current little relationship, but always let the man be the first one to announce that you two are dating, none. So you won't look like the fool, so you won't look like you got egg on your motherfucking face. But as she keep going on and on, I fall victim into some of this shit too. Okay.
Fortunately, I thought it would only be a matter of time. Common does not want anybody. He might want some company, but he doesn't want to be with nobody." Another person wrote, "Even with therapy, overcoming childhood trauma is difficult. A lot of people date who they needed as a parent. For example, he probably dates masculine women because his inner child is seeking a protector. And Tiffany probably dates feminine men because it gives her a false sense of security that she's in control and can make him stay due to her abandonment issues. I wish them both the best moving forward." And lastly, I wanted to share this tweet. "Always give a man the opportunity to publicly claim you. When a woman claims a man first, she almost always ends up with egg on her face." So Common is clearly not only a commitment phobe, but his red flag sign relationship history speaks for itself. Now, future faking is a very strategic love con game and is a common love fraud scheme that will often be used by men to con a woman out of anything, but most notably her goodies, her time, her affection, her attention, her mothering, and in many cases, her financial
Now, I didn't get this man any money, but I do have some money coming from my car accident. And he would constantly say, "Oh, you're going to leave me when you get your money. You're going to leave me when you get your money." Like, motherfucker, like, I'm not going to leave you. I mean, I'm left now, but but he kept mentioning my money. I'm not going to give you my money. And he did come into thinking that we had something going. He would talk about me being in his future. He always talked about us growing and being together. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, let me see something. Okay. But he always talked about us being like in the future together. I always thought that was a good thing, but he was just conning me, future faking my ass. And I didn't even see it, didn't even fucking realize it. I was getting conned.
Sources. Now, by textbook definition, future faking is when a person uses the word salad of a romantic magical promise of a detailed future together, which will often be music to a desperate woman's ears, or a codependent woman, or a mothering woman's ears. And future faking is used to mock the feeling of a strong bond and or a connection in attempts to disarm your heartstrings, to get attention from you, to make you feel needed, and or to get admiration from you. And is a very powerful seduction practice that will often be used by online scammers, narcissists, Casanovas, commitment phobes like Common, gigolos, Lotharios, and or people who are expertly attuned at lie telling. The promise of marriage forever until death do us part is quite irresistible and very seductive, as human beings are wired for companionship, partnership, togetherness, family, and are wired to want to be cared for, which is why it can be quite easy to fall for a man's flattery and his sincere, meaningful words. And it can feel so good to be on the receipt.
Now, I don't know if I'm playing too much of her video, whatever. You can go look at her video or whatever. That's why I'm talking and playing some of it. I'm not playing like the whole video, like in and out here and there and stuff like that. But she's getting out the truth. I love her channel. And I'm not getting paid for promoting her channel or anything like that. But like, this hit home.
End of attention, narcissistic love bombing, and or worship. So here are the 7 common red flag signs of future faking. Number 1, flattery. Flattery is the seductive, strategic use of manipulative wordplay.
Now, I think she's going to say, men tell you not to wear makeup. Like, he hated for me to wear makeup. Oh, my God. He hated for me to wear makeup. And he was like, don't wear makeup. Don't do this. Don't do that. But I think she's going to mention it.
To hand out unearned praise, to get a woman to lower her defenses. Have you ever had someone tell you that you look better without makeup? That you look better than a runway model in your 3-day-old sweatpants? Well, then welcome to the world of flattery, where a person's ego wants to hear great things about themselves when they haven't even earned them, and where a woman's ego wants to hear things about herself that aren't even true. And this flattery on steroids is also known as narcissistic love bombing. Ladies, if a man does not know you from a can of paint and is pouring it on and is laying it on thick in the compliments and the worship department, that is called love bombing, and love bombing is used by Decepticon men because it works. Number 2, the promise of a future on your dime, of course. A future faker will promise you the world on a crystal platter, but will use your credit, your bank account, your kindness, and your financial sponsorship to bankroll the promise of happily ever after. Number 3, future fakers will generally seek out mothering and or masculina types, as they are typically women who are proud, independent woman types, who will usually not ask for reciprocity in their romantic relationships. Number 4, future faking will often simply be used by cheapskate men or poor men who don't have the money to court, to flatter, or to financially impress. So they will use word salad and a woman's lack of standards to get easy access to get laid. And yes, it is true, ladies, most men will do and say anything to get laid. Number 5, future fakers have 0 to low integrity. Integrity, ladies, is a person's consistent ability to align their words with their actions. People who have very little integrity will usually talk a good game of loyalty, but will never back up their words with actions, follow through, dependability, or reliability. You also need to look at that person's relationship history to decipher whether there is a toxic pattern, and has this person interrupted this pattern by sitting themselves in the nearest therapist chair. If not, ladies, that pattern will be repeated with you. Number 6, future fakers are good at grooming. Emotional grooming is the subtle art of forging an emotional bond in an effort to set the stages of manipulation, gaslighting, exploitation, and or abuse in the future. Groomers are excellent at applying pressure, taking a woman's temperature in terms of her self-esteem and her self-worth. And they are experts at figuring out a woman's tolerance and her threshold levels for dysfunction.
He always tests my tolerance. He always was trying to see how I was going to pop off. Will I pop off? We had got into an argument earlier this month. And even though I met him on a job, I do not bring my personal life to work. Work is work, home is home. Anytime, like if I fuss with him or argue with him, I handle that over the phone with him and I. Never took it to work. And we're not taking it to work because that's my bread and butter. And he went to supervision behind my back, and I guess he told them that he was scared that I might come to his work area and start an argument and a fight. That's automatically subordination. You get fired and kicked to the door. And my boss gave me a one-woman meeting, and I had to sign his paperwork. So I started putting two and two together, and I'm like, I called this motherfucker, and I was like, did you go to my supervisor and tell them anything? Because I never came to you work-wise, Everything I dealt with was between you and I. But, of course, he lied and said he didn't say anything. But this motherfucker said something when my boss just come to me out of the blue and be like, don't do this, don't do that, and don't curse nobody out.
Being strung along, abuse, and pain. And number 7, future fakers will usually have a disastrous relationship history. And more importantly, they will play the blame game.
Okay. It's funny she said that. I was at his house and he was like, look at my windows. And I looked at 2 of his windows and the windows was busted out. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he showing me this? So the woman before me, she must bust 2 of his windows out. And for some reason, he was proud of that.
Will usually take zero actionable accountability for the demise of their past relationships. Instead, they will use flattery to make you believe that you are better and that you are different than all the others. So how does a woman begin to avoid future faking? A solution: by making sure that she treats herself like the prize, that she works on her womanly self-esteem and her confidence by vetting.
He hated for me to work on myself. It tore him up.
By roster dating, by being hypergamous, as future faking Decepticons are usually never generous with their giving unless there are strings attached. By being observant of that man's relationship history, and by being observant of a man's integrity and his levels of patience. A man does not need to have the patience of the Dalai Lama, but future fakers are generally men who like to rush things, as their goal is to come into your life to make you a placeholder before you figure out who they are and before the relationship goes off the rails and crashes and burns. So that is all that I have to say on this for now. Future faking is pretty common as predatory men, commitment phobes, immature men, narcissistic men, and unserious men come in all flavors, shapes.
And she's not lying. Oh my God, he was very jealous. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me feel like I was wanted. Like, he would say, you better not have no other man up in your face. You went with your other man, were you? But I just took that as jealousy and kind of cute at the same time. Like, if I missed his phone call, oh, you was your other man. Like, he was very insecure like that. So everything she's saying is like on the point. I like her. But once again, her name is Chloe. You can watch the full video. I didn't play the whole video. I know it seemed like I did, but I didn't. I played bits and pieces and talked in between.
Amen.
Hey, well, if you back, I'm a lead. Cause I told you can hold the Carter too.
I can't make up nothing.